Today, let us discuss about the topic human rights. Do you think human rights violation only happen in other countries? Or what would you do if your government violated your basic rights? India is the world's largest democracy and has a long history of fighting for freedom, justice, and equality. However, despite the country's progress, human rights violation remain a concern in India. What are human rights? Human rights are the basic rights and freedom that everyone is entitled to, simply because they are human beings. These rights include things like right to life, freedom of speech, freedom from discrimination, right to education, and so on. Human rights ensure that everyone is treated fairly and equally without discrimination based on factors such as race, gender, religion, nationality, or social status. Why human rights are so important in India? Firstly, India has a diverse population and human rights ensure that every individual, regardless of their background, is protected and can live with dignity. Human rights provide a framework for ensuring that everyone has access to basic necessities such as healthcare, education, clean water, and so on. Secondly, India has a history of social inequality and discrimination, and human rights play a vital role in ensuring that marginalized communities are protected. Human rights provide a framework for promoting social justice and equality and ensure that every individual has access to equal opportunities and protection under the law. Thirdly, human rights are crucial for maintaining democracy in India. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of expression, and the right to peaceful assembly are all essential components of a democratic society. Human rights protect these freedom and ensure that individuals can express their opinion without fear of anyone. The evolution of human rights in India can be traced back to ancient times, when the Vedas, the ancient Hindu scriptures, recognized the concept of universal human rights. The Indian Constitution, which was adopted in 1950, lays down the foundation for protection of human rights in India. In the early years of Indian independence, the government focused on the economic and social development of the country. However, the 1970s saw the formation of several human rights organizations. These organizations played a vital role in raising awareness about human rights violation and advocating for policy changes. In 1978, the Indian government established the National Human Rights Commission to investigate and monitor human rights violation. National Human Rights Commission plays a crucial role in protecting human rights in India and has made significant contributions towards the improvement of human rights conditions in the country. The Supreme Court of India has delivered several landmark judgments on issues such as police brutality, custodial death, and the rights of prisoners. The courts have also recognized the rights of marginalized communities such as LGBTQ community and have upheld the right to freedom of speech and expression. However, despite the progress made in protecting human rights in India, there are still significant challenges that need to be addressed. One of the most significant challenges in India is the issue of discrimination against certain groups, discrimination against women, Dalits, and other marginalized communities is prevalent in India. Women are often subjected to sexual violence, harassment, and discrimination, and many are denied access to education and health care. Dalit and other marginalized communities also face discrimination and violence, and they are often denied basic human rights such as access to education, health care, and other basic necessities. Another issue in India is the lack of accountability for human rights violation. Police brutality, custodial death are all too common in India. These types of crimes are often not held accountable and the victims' families are denied justice. Furthermore, freedom of speech and expression is also under threat in India. India has made significant progress in protecting human rights. However, there are still challenges that need to be addressed. Let us not forget that human rights are not just a privilege for the fortunate few, but a fundamental birthright for all. As guardians of this birthright, we must stand together in solidarity and protect the inherent dignity and worth of every human being, regardless of their race, gender, religion, or belief. Only then we can truly create a world that is just, equitable, and free.